Welcome to our last show of the year, 2023. Unfortunately, John is not with us this week, but he wishes everyone a happy Christmas and a fantastic New Year, and all the listeners of Limerick City Community Radio. We're just kind of doom and gloom over the last couple of weeks about people running out of money for Christmas and things like that, and which is a valid point. So I presume, just to finish the last show, we'll give the legend of St. Nicholas, the real Santa Claus, or the real Father Christmas, as we used to call him years ago. I don't think it was Santa Claus back in the 60s, I think it was Father Christmas. So I'll just give you a bit of an update for any of the kids or anything listening out there where actually Santa Claus came from. And he's still going today. He's going to be coming out next week with their toys and stuff, so they all better be good out there if there's any young kids listening. The legend of Santa Claus can be traced back hundreds of years to a monk named St. Nicholas. It is believed that Nicholas was born sometime around AD 280 in Pantara, near Moira in modern day Turkey. Now, I always thought St. Nicholas was actually German, but maybe that's where the tradition started. Much admired for his piety and kindness, St. Nicholas became the subject of many legends. It is said that he gave away all his inherited wealth and travelled the countryside helping poor and sick kids and adults. One of the best known St. Nicholas's stories is the time he saved 3 poor sisters from being sold into slavery or prostitution by their father, providing them with a dowry so that they could be married. Over the course of many years, Nicholas's popularity spread. He became known as the protector of children and sailors. His feast day is celebrated on the anniversary of his death, which was on December the 6th actually, which I didn't realise it was that close to Christmas. This is traditionally considered to be a lucky day to make large purchases or get married. Well, I don't know about the married parts, what would the women and men think out there, but I suppose it's a lovely time of the year to get married. By the time of the Renaissance, St. Nicholas was the most popular saint in Europe, even after the Protestant Reformation, when his veneration of saints began to be discouraged. St. Nicholas maintained a positive reputation, especially in Holland. So they're William of Orange crowd. In Holland, even St. Nicholas held out. There's some traditions around the world. Of course, Santa Claus is probably an Americanized name of it, or we used to call him Father Christmas, but I suppose Santa Claus is the German version of it. There are similar figures in Christmas traditions around the world. Christkind or Kris Kringle were believed to deliver presents to well-behaved Swiss and German children. The word Kris Kringle or Christkind means Christ child. Christkind is an angel-like figure, often accompanied by St. Nicholas on his holiday missions. In Scandinavia, a jolly elf named Yule Munten, who was taught to deliver gifts in a sleigh drawn by goats. English legend explains that Father Christmas visits each home on Christmas Eve to fill children's stockings with holiday treats. Pierre Noël is responsible for filling the shoes of French children. In Italy, there's a story of a woman called La Befana, a kindly witch who rides a broomstick down the chimneys of Italian homes to deliver toys into stockings of lucky children. I wouldn't be too gone on the witch. I suppose we put the witch down to Halloween, but it just shows it's all kinds of goes on across the world. Christmas in Ireland is the annual festival which marks the Christian celebration of the birth of Jesus and its related observances. It also incorporates some pre-Christian customs. These customs range from traditional food and drink, which I suppose in Ireland we do drink enough of and consume enough food. Decorations and rituals, which is a fantastic thing. The decorations, everyone decorating their houses, especially around Limerick City and the county. And all across Ireland, it's brilliant to see. It's a real, it's probably the best time of the year, Christmas, because everyone seems to be in good form. Everyone tries to decorate their houses, young and old, and it is great. These customs range from traditional food and drink consumed, decorations and rituals, as well as more modern phenomena such as Christmas Day swim. I think they do that around Ireland. I think they do it down in Kilkee as well. I'm not sure about that. They do it off the coast of Dublin there as well, up around Dunleary as well, Christmas Day swim. And annual television and radio events, which years ago, especially when we were only RT1 and RT2, there was the usual movies on and there was the usual things on, and then when we got BBC and ITV with the game shows on every Christmas, which were brilliant. And unfortunately, no, I think TV has lost a small bit of innocence, but I suppose people living now wouldn't go back to those days because we hadn't much to watch. And plus, we didn't have a remote control for our TV. We had the smallest person or the youngest person in the house to change the buttons, 1 and 2, especially for in Ireland there for a couple of years. We were thought we were rich having just 2 channels, but now we have thousands upon thousands of channels. The modern Irish Christmas has become more similar to that of the British and American festive period, with emphasis on gift buying and parties. Well, as John and myself were talking about the gift buying, a lot of people are put under pressure for buying gifts, like the Secret Santas and all this. We used to have that in our house. Now we don't have it anymore because it does put a lot of people under pressure, especially people with young kids that are trying to help Santa deliver the goods on Christmas Day, and they get plus feed people over Christmas and keep the house warm and everything. So it does come as a big burden price wise, but and the parties as well. A lot of people don't have parties anymore. A lot of the workplaces don't have parties, which in some ways is probably a good thing. Or the rewards their workers with a few extra bob in their wage packets, which a lot of people prefer. Historically, for Irish Catholics, the festive period began on the 8th of December with the Feast of the Immaculate Conception, with many putting their decorations and the Christmas trees up on that day. It runs through until the 6th of January, or Little Christmas. A lot of people I know take their Christmas trees and decorations down on St. Stephen's Day, which I can understand this. They usually put them up a bit earlier before the Christmas, but they take them down. But the superstitious person in me, we leave ours up. Paul and myself leave ours up till January the 6th. We don't dare take them down. We might take 1 or 2 things down, but we won't take the Christmas tree or anything down January the 6th. I know people are only meant to get Christmas over. It's a lot of them become dirt collectors and things like that, but tradition, I suppose you have to leave it up to January the 6th. In modern times, the Late Late Toy Show, which is massive now, and you could see all the kids' faces there the last couple of weeks, looking forward to it, and actually had done a great show, I have to say. Patrick Hilty done a great show of it, had a big boots to fill there, and it was fantastic. I didn't see it myself, but everyone I met has applauded it, anyone with young kids. On the last Friday of November, it's viewed at the beginning of the Christmas period. It's viewed as the beginning of the Christmas period. The greeting for Happy Christmas in Irish is Nullag Shona. Dít. I think that's how you say it, yeah. I can barely speak English, let alone Irish. And or Nullag Shona Díobh. The literal translation is Happy Christmas to you. Irish traditions at Christmas. Ireland is a predominantly Christian country, and Christmas plays an important role in religious aspects of Irish life, taking the place of pre-Christian festival on Winter Solace. Of course, it was originally a pagan ritual around which Christmas is after taken over, and it's of course the winter solstice was I think it was to do with the changing of the seasons and the times, and so it's coming into winter, I think, around that time, so that's where the winter solstice, and of course you'd have the priests or high priests and druids and things like that celebrating the sun and the moon. The earliest account of the Christian celebration of Christmas in Ireland are from 1171, which actually is a long time back. I didn't realise it was that far back, when the excommunicated King Henry II spent Christmas in Dublin. The next account of Dublin Christmas is, sorry, just get the pages over here. Handy if I turn the pages half down. From 1458, and focuses on religious dramas known as miracle plays. There have been traditionally large attendances at religious services for Christmas Day and Christmas Eve, with midnight mass a popular choice for Roman Catholics. Unfortunately, I don't think anywhere does midnight mass anymore. We used to go to midnight mass when we were younger, because not in the bad way, you get it all the way for the following morning, when of course the mother of the house was preparing the food, and of course we'd be playing with our toys, and our father would bring us to mass, midnight mass, and then we'd come home, get into bed. This is when we got a bit older, of course, because Santa Claus, we knew Santa Claus was only coming at a certain time, so we knew we could go to bed at 1 o'clock. There was also an early morning Christmas Day mass that is believed to confer indulgences worth 20 masses. There you go, no Christmas Day mass covers you for 20 masses. Even those who did not habitually attend Mass were generally expected to do it on Christmas Day. It is a time for remembering the dead in Ireland, with prayers being offered for deceased at the Mass. It is traditional to decorate graves at Christmas with wreath made of ivy or holly, yew or other evergreens, which everyone does. Most people do. Of course, we get little plants now with little Christmas trees and everything, but they're really, really lovely, and you can't forget the people that have passed Christmas Day, because it's probably for some people it's the most loneliest time of the year, because you remember back to when you were a younger person and when your parents were around, and other siblings or kids that you had around, unfortunately, after passing on, and but they're always with us anyway. It is believed that if anyone died on the period between Christmas Day and Little Christmas on January the 6th, they would enter heaven immediately. Christmas Day was traditionally referred to as the Big Christmas or Nullig Mór, to differentiate from the Little Christmas. It was traditionally in parts of Ulster for men to partake in an event called Join, Join, where they clubbed together to pay for food and drink, celebrating at the time in the 10 days of Christmas. Decorations. William Power Seed Merchants of O'Connell Street, Waterford, sold the first Christmas trees in 1929. I think that was in Ireland. In that period of the mid-19th to mid-20th century, it was common for Irish households to clean and prepare the houses for the Christmas period. This would include cleaning and whitewashing the home, with decorating taking place after this. All parts of the houses were cleaned, from furniture and utensils to sweeping the chimney. Even the chimney was swept. The use of evergreen foliage such as holly was seen to represent Christ and his everlasting life, but also has pagan roots. Travelling people would sell paper decorations and mottos door to door and town markets from the late 19th century on, which I think that's kind of still going. I think I'm not sure about the door to door things, but that died out, especially when we came into the 2000s. I don't. But years ago, when I was growing up in South Hill, people used to call door to door with selling similar decorations, small trees. Of course, decorations you could hang from the ceiling, which were back them days. Everyone used to hang their decorations from the ceiling. Now you'd ruin the plasterboard on the ceiling, but years ago we used to have everything hung out of the ceiling as well. And it was a fantastic time of the year, you know. But it also has pagan roots as well. The green foliage has pagan roots as well, so don't forget that. In Munster, it was traditional to fashion a decoration out of holly sprigs onto a simple wooden cross. In rural homes, the boy or cow shed, stables and other buildings for animals will be decorated to honour the roles of animals in the nativity story, which of course there was a lot of animals in the nativity as well, the story. In parts of Ireland, it's believed that at midnight on Christmas Eve, animals such as cows and donkeys could be heard to speak devotions in human speech. Now, I don't know whether that's true or not. I've heard a couple of animals talking to me, alright, but I was under the influence of a couple of bevies or things, so you wouldn't be surprised what we'll be talking to when you have a couple of drinks, especially coming home from a Christmas party, if we're out at a Christmas party, because we all overindulge at Christmas parties, unfortunately. But we don't do it much now, actually, because we don't have the money to spend, and so they were all devoting to God in human speech. To hear a cockerel crow at midnight on Christmas even was considered a good omen. So there you go, no? Even a cockerel crowing was a good omen. Rural homes would also procure a large log similar to the Yule log called Bloch na Nulloch. Now, in Limerick, I've seen a couple of them down the market. Now, my wife used to buy them every year. You might have room for 2 candles or 3 candles in it. The log would be sprayed. Fantastic. Little holes drilled in it, and you just place the candles into the log, and it's fantastic to have in the middle of your table. But unfortunately, I think a lot of that's dying out as well, and hopefully we can get some of these traditions back, because we do need them back, you know, and it's nice to get back some of the traditions. Mistletoe was not part of traditional Irish Christmas decoration, so there you go. It wasn't part. I thought it was, because everyone used to get bunches of mistletoe years ago. You'd have it hanging out of every picture in the house. We'd have with a picture of our Lord up on the wall. There'd be mistletoe over him. There was a picture of me up on the wall when I was a young lad. There was mistletoe over me. There was a picture of my sister on the other wall. Mistletoe over that. The mistletoe now would be on top of the TV. So I'm surprised there that mistletoe is not part of the Irish kind of custom, but has become a feature in modern times. And some areas such as County Armagh did have the tradition of kissing under the mistletoe. Well, yeah, that's kind of a known fact. I don't know what the meaning of the kissing under the mistletoe, but a lot of people do it. Along with Britain, Ireland saw the introduction of Christmas trees during the reign of Queen Victoria, with their prevalence increasing from the 1840s. Before this, a large branch or a top of a tree was used instead. Now, as I said earlier on, the fella from Waterford was the first actually to sell them. William Power Seed Merchants, I suppose, from O'Connell Street. He used to sell the Christmas trees on Christmas Eve, and that was in 1929. So he made a living out of it, but I presume they used to just go out and cut their own trees down and just to make the place nice. Before this, a large branch on the top of a tree was used instead. I just read that. I'm getting lost here now. Christmas trees officially go up on the 8th of December because, according to Christian tradition, the Immaculate Conception was on this date. Trees in towns and cities are erected in central locations every year along with the lights. So we have a beautiful tree down here in St Mary's church over. It's a fantastic tree, and it's a brilliant tree, a beautiful tree as well up by the railway station. It's a really, really lovely tree, and it's great. It's lovely to see, and everyone gets in the mood for Christmas. It's fantastic. In many homes in Ireland, the traditional crib along with the Christmas tree are part of family decorations, typically made of wood or plaster. Traditionally, the figure of baby Jesus would not be added to the crib until Christmas morning, and the three wise men would be placed in the nativity scene on Little Christmas. I didn't know that. We used to. Well, we know about baby Jesus not going until Christmas morning, but the three wise men would be placed in the Little Christmas. That's when the finishes Christmas is coming up. We used to have the wise men, the donkeys, the cow, everything stuck in it. Joseph and Our Lady in it as well, but we only used to put Jesus in last. Leaving decorations up after the 6th of January was considered bad luck. I've heard that you're not supposed to leave them up after the 6th. I don't know what kind of luck it brings to you, but it could be an old wives' tale, but in a lot of places they'd say you have everything done by the 6th, which I think most people have these days. I don't think people keep them up after that. And all the holly that you've been used in decorations would be burnt. That's right, you weren't supposed to throw them out, you were supposed to burn them on the fire. I know that as well, but I don't know whether you can still burn them on the fire or not. Maybe you could be arrested for it now because you could be with the ozone layer and everything now, so I don't know whether maybe we still dump them now anyway. Local Catholic churches would often have a larger scale crib on display during the Advent period. Bringing home a few strands of straw from a church crib was thought to bring good luck, with those who lived in detached houses adding the strands into the underside of the thatch. That was a nice idea. Since the late 20th century, these crib displays are also placed in prominent public areas such as town squares, with Dublin moving crib with live animals at the Mansion House, one of the most famous versions. I don't know whether, I think the live crib was off for a couple of years. I think, I'm not sure, I could be wrong with this, I'm not sure. I think it was off for a couple of years because of they were worried about animal cruelty, but as far as I know, the animals are well looked after. Now, it would be lovely to see. A lot of people go up to Dublin actually to see the live crib, and but as I said, you have to look after the animals as well, and that's another great tradition there. And just a little thing there about Santa Claus, and hopefully all the little kids around Limerick city and county and across the rest of Ireland have a lovely peaceful Christmas and get most of what they want, because none of us can get all of what we want, and because Santa doesn't have the money, and it's hard enough now for our mum and dads to feed us and stuff like that, you know. So it's great all the interest and stuff, and great for the kids to see the kids' faces. We had Santa down in our place here last week, and he had a great time. Santa and the elf down at St Mary's, and all the kids from the infant school came in, and just to see their faces and the enjoyment and the innocence on the kids, it really makes Christmas. And I'd like to say fair play to Santa and the elf for calling. And it was great. It was a great morning. We all stayed there, and I think there was a batch of 20 kids came in, and they all got selection boxes and little sweets each. So it was just lovely to see their faces, and it really makes it worthwhile to see the kids' faces, because Christmas is a child's time and a family time, and just hoping that everyone has a peaceful Christmas and everything goes their way, hopefully, and they don't get that much in debt. And just have a peaceful Christmas. That's all everyone can kind of hope for. But running out of what to say now, and I think I have 10 minutes to go. When you've nothing to bounce off people, it's hard to talk for half an hour. But I hope everyone enjoys their Christmas out there, and have a great new year. This, as I said, this is our last show on Limerick City Community Radio for this year in 2023, and I would like to thank the management and staff of Limerick City Community Radio for letting St Mary's on the airwaves and letting us get out Babylon for the half an hour every 2 weeks. It's much appreciated, very appreciated by John and the board of St Mary's. And if anyone next year would like to come on and have us speak to us, if they wanted to highlight anything, why not get in contact with either St Mary's Adult Education Centre, or get in contact with the radio station above, Limerick City Community Radio in Edward Street. We're in the community hall there in Edward Street, so anyone ever wants to call up. If anyone wants to get it mixed up in radio, especially the young people, with some fantastic people over the station there, and they've great patience, and just why not get involved? Why not try and start doing your own radio show? We have online shows, but there's spaces sometime on the online shows that people can take over, and you do your own show like this one and like my two shows, and maybe start the new year off, get a bit of confidence to be able to speak into a microphone, get a bit of confidence to be able to speak to other people. And you never know, down the line you might decide to take up radio broadcasting full time. But as I said, there's always an invite there to anyone in Limerick City, especially young people, because young people have to, it's if looking for work or things like that, it's a great hobby to have. You might get something out of it, you could be picked up. So that's me waffling on for the last half an hour, and I wish you all a very, very happy Christmas and a happy new year, listening to Limerick City Community Radio. We won't be back till I think it's the middle of January now, so there'll be still a full thing of programmes on for the next 2 weeks. But keep it tuned to Limerick City Community Radio. And of course, we have a Christmas Day slot on 99.9 FM, and www.lccr.ie. There'll be a load of programmes on that day, so if you get sick of the TV, turn it on to, especially if you're in Limerick region, 99.9 FM, and if not, if you're across the world, turn it on to www.lccr.ie. We'll be covering everything. We'll be covering music, there'll be chat, there'll be a bit of laughter, fun, which we all need at Christmas. So I'll say adieu to you, and have a great Christmas and a great New Year. Talk to you all again in the New Year, and goodbye.